Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith of the In the Black Quant Edge VTF here, T3 Live with this weekend's market wrap-up. And if my voice sounds a little funky, we had a little headset malfunction, so I'm doing the best I can here. We'll get a new one going, so if it sounds a little weird, that's why. Anyway, SPY doing nothing, and by doing nothing, I mean inside weak. And so this consolidation continues. If we look at the daily, it's just stupid in here. And outside days and just completely trading in this range here. How do we get out of here? Well, one of the problems is we've been seeing some things go up, some things go down, which gives you the big boat going nowhere. I'll get back to that in a second. One of the things we did have in the news overnight was the British pound getting pounded. And so the thing is, one of the things I tweeted out, and one of the things I tweet out in the morning. I tweet out a lot of charts during the day at Rob in the Black, but I tweet out a gapper list in the morning, and certainly a lot of charts you want to pay attention to. I also make a longer version of this over the weekend, Smith in the Black on YouTube, all one word, and I also tweet that out. But let's get to the British pound, because I tweeted this out earlier this week. We were talking about the setup on the monthly, and the setup of the monthly was to get smashed. This here is an inside month. It went above it and came back in it. That's a reversal strat. I'll show you a few more of those. It was also inside weak and down. And so don't say that I call these things. What I say is that there's certain setups, or if anything goes wrong, things can get real funky on you, and that's what you saw there. Anyway, that SPY doing nothing, right? And so one of the things you want to do over the course of the month, or even like a Wednesday on weekly charts, is you want to pull it up in the monthly. What are we doing this month? Nothing. Doji for the most part, doing nothing. And so we need to get out of there to have any sorts of, to find anything that's trending. It's still an inside month, inside week. Therein lies the problem. So what you do is you go where things are moving. Gold goes monthly shooter down here. Nice move for the gold. And so if we went to the GDX and the miners, you're going to see this. Inside weak to the break to the downside, down sideways measured move. So if you're trying to bottom pick this thing, I'm going to show you why that is a problem. You did not want to be doing that. Well, something you hear me call about a simultaneous break. And so what that means is, obviously GDX is made up of mining stocks. So if you go to ABX, what began the simultaneous break is everything breaking in the same direction. By that I mean you have an equilibrium in the inside week in ABX. That inside week also breaks an inside month. That's two. Inside week and month, both down there. If you go to Newmont, shooter down like the GDX, inside week breaks to the downside, and you go to the monthlies, you're going to see stuff like AEM, breaks the inside month. You got Silver Wheaton with the silver. You've got RGLD. So that's a simultaneous break. That's something you want to know about, and that's why we were staying involved there. And then when gold gapped up today, everybody's like, oh, I picked the bottom or whatever. Wrong. So basically what we want to look for is any time it's lower than it opened on the month and the week, you've got the simultaneous break on all the miners. And then once it drops from the opening, it's going down on all time frames. Full time frame continuity to the downside. You can look for an actionable signal. It opens, it goes down, it goes inside 30, and that was all she wrote. And then there's some scalps back up. Once it triangles out, you can see this very clearly, the broadening formation here and here. Once it blows everybody out to the downside, then it can go back inside for a scalp back up. But right here was a really meaty one, and just playing the dusty and all that stuff all week long. So go where the action is instead of looking at the SPY all day. But when I talk about simultaneous breaks, even if you're looking at the SPY, we had two today, just on the intraday. And an intraday, those others are weeklies, monthlies, but on an intraday basis, watching the 60, here, if you see there, I'll blow it up so you can see a little bit better, because these things are something you want to know about. Inside 60 in the SPY. So the SPY goes open, outside 60, inside 60, right? And so we're looking, if we get this simultaneous break, we go down, inside measured move, which we got. And by simultaneous, I mean it was inside on the SPY, inside 60 in the Qs, the diamonds, your IBB here, I mean everything, and crude oil, helping the cause there on the way back up. And so we went on the way back up. On the way back up, let me get back to that, we had a simultaneous break to the upside. Inside 60 here, back up. They all went inside 60 and popped back up. Now, granted, we're in a tight range, not that big, but that's how we can identify what moves we can expect in a really tight range to keep an eye on there. Also, when we get back down here, you can see another tighter broadening formation here. Higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. So the question, when this 60, do we have an indication that this was going to come back up off of that and try and go back up? We did. We had an inside 15 here. Now, at that point, when the 15 went up, when I talk about the reversal strategy, here, inside 30, tried to go down, and if it was going to really go, it would have measured move, down, sideways, measured move. That's not what happened. It came back into the range, open and closes back in that range. So when that 15 goes up, 15 here, inside 15 above 214.62, triggers the 30-minute rev strat above this bar at 214.67, and the good thing is this bar was long enough that it still maintained an inside 60, so you got even a little bit more out of it. So that's how you, just like playing pool, you want to keep thinking a few moves ahead and be like, if this works, what's it going to set up? The other thing I talk about in the morning is that every morning I hashtag gap, mind the gap, and the gap list keeps you in the things that are on the move. You're like INCY here. You can see this. You can wait for that opening 60 range. Goes inside 60. Bam, back to the highs. Tyson was real good. TSN. And TSN also had the luxury of this. It's already inside weak and down coming back into this formation. And then if you follow the bouncing 30, down, inside 30, boom, smash. And there was a few other ones in there too. Clovis for the bottom picker in you. Clovis gaps and goes down, but then reversed like this. Here, inside 5, right there. So if it goes down, if this inside 5 is going to be a measured move, it's going to stop, pause, and then continue to take it out. That's not what happened. Selling exhausted, inside 5 and right back up. It was real nice. You even got another inside 5 there for a little bit more. PPG was another nice one here. You hear me talk about momentum hammers and momentum shooting stars right here, right out the chute, momentum shooting star. Goes up, guess where all the stops are? Right here. Pow, real sellers take it down. So especially in an environment like this, gap list coming in very, very handy. If we take a look at, like I said, when you look at the SPY and things doing nothing, we just want to go through some of the internals here and say, well, what's holding us back or what's holding us up going forward? Because you had FAS still hanging around, inside weak, stuff like that, but the XLF went rev strat to the upside, so that's hanging in there. You have the XLE, energy, still hanging around, and remember this daily here, the daily triangle here. Now the question is, can it get out of all this stuff, or what's it going to do? Semiconductors still strong as well, but then you have stuff like the Utes getting pounded, in XRT retail to a certain extent doing nothing, although some of them are picking up, and I'm going to point that out in just a second. Let's see, Home Builders ITB, still pig, near the lows. But XRT, still trying to see if that can get going. But like I said, when we start to look at those monthly charts at what the first things that are indications are giving us, you're going to see KSS trying to go inside month and up with Nordstrom. You're going to see Macy's, Foot Locker. So green shoots, if you will, and the old retail. And so Baker Hughes is up inside month and up. We've been on that one this week in the oils and waiting to see Devon. But for right now, that's still an inside month. And we got inside week. So oftentimes we go outside week and try and test both sides of the range. That's what broadening formations do. Go test both sides until we can get everything to line up properly. You got IBB coming in like this. That's a problem. I mean, still here. That's a problem for the Qs. This thing's testing the lows of the month here today. So we need all of this stuff to line up. So first things first, we're going to look at that, stay on the gold trade for, to see if that continues. But we want to see the initial breaks of these inside weeks come next week and to see if they continue or if they continue this business of reversing. And so obviously what we're going to do is we're going to maintain watching the daily and the 60 to see if any of these breakouts confirm or negate. So I wish it was more exciting, but inside week for the SPY doing nothing. But hopefully by watching the gap list and watching these 60 and 30 and 15-minute signals in the SPY, that can help you stay on top of what there is to do. All right, let's go. That's going to do it for this week. Let's go, Cubbies. I'm Rob Smith of the Black VTF here at T3 Live with this week's market wrap-up.